Hello, everyone. This is Sam Ridgway, and today we're having another episode of Tales from the Crypto with our resident guru, Cameron Sykes. Cameron, how are you?
I'm doing great, Sammy. How are you?
I'm doing okay, except for the fact that I have my sunglasses on because I have this sty in my eye, and the last thing I want is a whole bunch of things on the news feed saying, "What the hell's the matter with that ugly guy's eye?" So I'm
Yeah.
just going to take all that out of there. I'm going to wear my sunglasses. The show must go on. Doesn't matter what I have going on with me or not. We're going to do this. So I think today we're going to get into a little bit of news in the crypto market. And actually, the crypto market isn't looking too bad. It's kind of coming up a little bit. So I'm sure we'll cover that, as well as a brand new coin. And we even have a little video for you on this new coin. It's called Hollow Ride, and it's actually it's pretty cool. But Cameron will go into that for you. So without further ado, Cameron, why don't you just take it away?
I want to get into our token. That is Hollow Ride, and that's ticker symbol RIDEE. Excuse me, Ride, RIDE. And you could find that on the Mayer exchange, and that's spelled MAIAR. And it's currently trading for $1.18 with a market cap of 150 million, 52-week low and high of 97 cents and $2.14. So Hollow Ride is actually the first immersive in-vehicle media platform. They take your everyday commute and transform it into a hyper-immersive experience that combines car data, extended reality, and blockchain technology in a brilliant new way. The foundation of this lies in Hollow Ride's platform for in-vehicle experiences, which connects real-time vehicle data to immersive media content. And this means users essentially have access to an in-ride virtual theme park that adapts to your surroundings. Hollow Ride plans to establish a ride-to-play-to-earn cycle that incentivizes users' engagement with experiences. Hollow Ride will be integrated into Audi vehicles beginning in June 2022, and their software will allow it to connect the car wirelessly and via Bluetooth. So this is still a very young project, but with the rise of the metaverse and the backing of big names like Audi, I think this is a great under-the-radar play that has a ton of potential in the future.
Basically, in the video, you put on a headset, a virtual reality headset like the Quest 2, and you're using it while you see virtual reality all around you. And I think it's even tied into the car, because there was an Audi, it's not really coming in like that, but there was an Audi commercial you had also shown me or sent me, to where it works with the car itself and the motions of the car for the virtual reality stuff to happen. Like when you're going around curves and stuff, it'll show that you're actually going around a curve. You can see spaceships come in. You can play games where you're shooting things around you. And I think it's designed for the backseat driver, maybe even for the passenger. Obviously not for the driver, because you got a virtual reality thing on your head. But it actually is pretty cool. I mean, while you're riding in the car, and it's not just for games, because they were talking about how an educational experience, how you could actually work while you're in the car. I mean, it opens up an entire bunch of endless possibilities with augmented reality, with virtual reality. And it also allows you to actually learn and do things while you're just wasting time in the car going from point A to point B.
It could basically be that road that you're on, but it's basically looking like The Simpsons, or like you're in Mario Brothers or something, or it could be the actual world that you're in, and then you get information on the history of buildings that you drive by, and it's just a fully immersive experience. And it's unlike anything I've ever seen before. And the fact that they were already backed by Audi, and Audi is going to be integrated into the vehicles in June of this year. I mean, I think that's really huge, and that really says a lot about about Hollow Ride itself, and really where the metaverse is going. It's really crazy, and I think that in itself makes it a really interesting play.
I mean, I could see older people using it. You know, I'm 55, so I would probably have fun with that for a while. But you get my 18-year-old daughter, or even you get my 8-year-old grandkids wearing that thing. I mean, it's a totally different experience. There's no more, when are we going to get there? How far are we gone? The rest of that. This just takes the entire person and puts them in this incredibly immersive world.
Oh my God, yeah. Imagine having to take your kids on a road trip and you just strap those headsets on them. They just shut the hell up and you get to just drive in peace. It's great. And you'll be, not only that, you'll be able to be playing games on there that are making you actual money. And you'll be making ride tokens while playing the games. So your kids are, being useful, shutting up, playing games and making money just during the road trip. I mean, it's kind of like the perfect scenario, really.
Yeah, and I can also imagine where there are multiple headsets, right? Like, again, we have 2 8-year-old grandkids. So, they both have headsets on. They're seeing the same thing in their virtual reality. They're playing games together while they're sitting there. So the whole entire thing, I could just see a whole travel experience being 100% different with these things on. And I think it'll catch on where the whole, remember when they had the video screens in the back of the headrests, or they had the video screen that popped down from the thing? I mean, that was a big thing. Your kids are watching, their movies and the rest of that stuff. Now, get them into gaming, right? Get them into where they're playing each other or communicating with their friends. How about even FaceTime is with that, where you can actually talk to your friend and on 100-foot screen in front of your face while you're driving down the road. I mean, you're going to be there in no time. So I think that's definitely good.
Some crypto in the news. HSBC buys virtual land in the Sandbox metaverse. HSBC is expanding its presence to the virtual world. In a Wednesday press release, the British banking giant announced that it had bought virtual real estate in the Sandbox, one of the most popular metaverse games, to connect and engage with a global audience of sports, esports, and gaming enthusiasts. The British bank is the first global financial institution to buy land in the Sandbox, but it's not the first major bank to make a move into the metaverse. In fact, last month, JP Morgan opened a virtual lounge in Decentraland. Mark Zuckerberg confirms Instagram will soon open the door to NFTs. On Tuesday, while speaking at the South by Southwest, Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg said that NFTs will soon be coming to Instagram. Terra CEO places a $1 million bet on Luna's price 1 year from now. So just recently, a Twitter user named Sensei Algod challenged anyone to $1 million bet that the price of Luna will be much lower a year from now. The tweet reads, "Who wants to take a $1 million bet that Luna will be lower in 1 year from now?" He further tagged notable Terra stakeholders, including the founder and CEO of Terra blockchain, Do Kwon. Kwon has since responded and accepted the bet, stating that he would prefer to ask whatever your net worth is and bet 90% of it. And so it seems like he's pretty confident, needless to say. And this comes just 3 weeks after Terra made headlines when they announced Terra's stablecoin UST will be backed by a $1 billion Bitcoin reserve. So the introduction of this Bitcoin reserve is thought by many to be a key step towards reducing volatility within Terra's ecosystem. And this will also make Terra one of the largest holders of Bitcoin in the entire world.
So did they take the challenge? He talked about 90% of the net worth, but has it come to fruition where there's an actual bet on the table?
I don't think the guy ended up going for the 90% of his net worth. But I believe the guy did accept the bet, and so now, now Do Kwon has an additional incentive to keep the price of Luna high. And so
keep Terra Luna, keep it in your mind. There's $1 million bet on the table. It's got to play for something.
Oh, and the fact that they're now one of the largest holders of Bitcoin in the entire world is huge. That's really huge. That really diversifies the reserves and will make the UST less volatile. And I think that's only going to be a good thing. So that's really
Terra Luna. What is the benefit of that? Like, why would we want Terra Luna? Isn't it a coin and something?
Well, yeah. So basically, the Terra's blockchain, the whole ecosystem, is built off of their stablecoin UST, and that's basically an algorithmic stablecoin. And what that means, it's like other stablecoins like Tether, those are all backed by actual physical assets. And when that Evergrande scandal hit China last year, and basically their debt almost collapsed and basically would have sent their economy into shambles, there was belief that Tether was backed by some really bad debt, Chinese debt, including possible Evergrande paper. And that has since created a lot of discussion whether, stable coins like that, who are backed by, bad assets, could have potentially harmful effects on the economy if a lot of people were using these stable coins. But that's not an issue for Terra because it's algorithmic, which means it's basically the price of it's pegged by Luna, which is the native token that we actually talked about in the show multiple times. I got one more headline here, and that is Bored Ape Yacht Club's Yuga Labs acquires CryptoPunks from Larva Labs. And this one's actually really huge news. Yuga Labs is the company behind one of the biggest and most valuable NFT collections in the industry, the Bored Ape Yacht Club. They just announced that it had bought the rights to the intellectual property of the CryptoPunks and Meebix collections from Larva Labs. Yuga Labs, which launched the Bored Ape Yacht Club collection in April of last year, had previously granted all Bored Ape Yacht Club owners full license to use the images they own for whatever commercial ends they choose. And so entrepreneurs, brands, and celebrities have quickly capitalized on the Bored Ape Yacht Club phenomenon and launched various brands like Bored Ape branded enterprises, including an Arizona iced tea ad campaign and a Gorillaz-inspired metaverse band from the Universal Music Group. So right now, the minimum...
We're talking NFTs here, right? Like when we talk about Bored Ape Yacht Club, we're talking about NFTs in that NFT space, right? Just so people understand what we're...
Absolutely. What's crazy is those are basically the two biggest collections in the entire space, and number one just bought number two, and so that's consolidating the power. They're giving all the owners of the crypto punks the intellectual property rights to their punk, which is huge, and it's really kind of makes Yuga Labs just a fucking gigantic powerhouse in the NFT world right now, and so that's exciting stuff. But think it's probably about time to talk about our token of the day.
Oh, just one thing. Hey, didn't the Bored Ape Yacht Club give a ton of money or something? I just heard them in the news recently. They just gave a ton. It was like to Ukraine or something. It was a significant amount of money that they just donated. So I mean,
the whole
that has to be an organization with some freaking resources.
Oh yeah, I mean the minimum price right now for a Bored Ape Yacht Club is $250,000. So that is like the bare minimum entry price to get in. And so like the collectors are all really a who's who of like celebrities, people in the industry, like financial guys, just entrepreneurs, everything. And they basically work and collaborate with each other. And so it's a big networking thing too. So there's a lot more incentive to holding those things.
We're already, we're at almost 15 minutes. It's almost been 15 minutes. It's like I'm wearing a hollow ride here. Like, I didn't even realize it was 15 minutes gone by.
Oh, yeah, it really flew by. No, that's for today.
All right. Well, hey, again, thanks for all of that insight, all the rest of the stuff. I'll have all of the ticker up where you can get it. I'll have all that up on the screen when you had talked about it before. But again, your insight's amazing. Keep bringing us stuff like that. We'll talk next Wednesday. And another great episode. Thanks a bunch, buddy.
All right. My pleasure. Talk to you soon, bud.